Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman recently took to social media to share major news about Roman Reigns ahead of WrestleMania 41. The OTC is all set to face Seth Rollins and CM Punk at the Show of Shows. Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns' relationship is dicey going into WrestleMania 41. The wise men owed a favor to CM Punk after the latter agreed to team up with Reigns at Survivor Series, War Games 2024. On last week's SmackDown, the Best in the World finally revealed his favor, saying that he wanted Heyman by his side during the triple threat match at Mania. Despite Roman's orders, Paul agreed to Punk's demands. Many people now believe that the ECW legend might betray the original tribal chief to align with the second City Saint on the grandest stage of them all. Ahead of WrestleMania 41, Paul Heyman recently took to X/Twitter to share huge news about Roman Reigns' new merchandise. The wise man highlighted that Reigns' new t-shirt was available on the WWE shop in time for Mania. "Just in time for #WrestleMania 41, he wrote. WWE legend Rikishi believes Roman Reigns is a step above CM Punk. During a recent edition of his Rikishi Fatu Off the Top podcast, the WWE legend praised CM Punk for his work on the independent circuit and in the Stamford-based promotion. The Samoan stinker called Punk an icon but still believed Roman Reigns was levels above the best in the world. CM Punk, OG, the man who did it all out there in the independents, finally came back, and now he is claiming his right to be the best in the world. Icon, superstar. I don't know. If we see the numbers, going back from Roman Reigns to CM Punk, we can't even just understand the numbers, which are so far off because of what? The one man, Roman. It remains to be seen what the Triple H-led creative team has planned for Paul Heyman's future as Roman Reigns' wiseman. In typical Paul Heyman fashion, the announcement didn't come with trumpets or grandiose fanfare. Instead, it arrived through a quiet sit-down interview on the bump, though its impact felt like an earthquake rumbling through the foundations of the WWE universe. "Ladies and gentlemen," Heyman began, smoothing down his jet black suit jacket, eyes narrowing into that familiar gleam of danger, "my name is Paul Heyman, and I am the wise man to the tribal chief, your undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns." A slight smirk curved onto his lips. Everyone watching knew that whenever Heyman took that tone, the calm before the storm, something seismic was about to drop. And true to form, he delivered. "As of this moment, I am authorized to inform the entire world," Heyman continued, locking eyes with the camera as though peering directly into the soul of every viewer, "that Roman Reigns has signed a contract for WrestleMania 41 that guarantees not one, but two title defenses over the weekend." The live chat exploded. Social media detonated. Even the usually unshakable panelists on the bump could barely hide their stunned expressions. "Wait, two title defenses?" Kayla Braxton, always the professional, managed to ask, her voice tight with disbelief. "Paul, are you saying Roman Reigns will defend the Universal Championship on both nights of WrestleMania 41? "Not just saying it," Heyman replied with that devilish glint in his eyes. "I'm promising it." For weeks, speculation had been swirling around Roman Reigns' status for WrestleMania 41. Rumors of his declining schedule, whispers of internal conflict within the bloodline, and the looming threat of rising stars like Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins had fueled debates across the wrestling world. But no one expected this. According to Heyman, the decision came directly from the tribal chief himself. "Roman Reigns is a conqueror, not a caretaker," Heyman explained. "And he will not permit his legacy to be questioned. He will not let doubters speculate that he is hiding behind a part-time schedule or cherry-picking challengers. Roman Reigns will defend his championship against the winner of the Royal Rumble on night 1, and then he will face the challenger of his choosing on night 2. The implications were staggering. Not only was Roman opening himself to the danger of fatigue, injury, or worse, defeat, but the fact that he would handpick his night 2 challenger set imaginations ablaze. Would he choose to finish his story with Cody Rhodes once and for all? Would he aim to humble Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, in a champion versus champion bout? Or would he shock the world by selecting a wild card, perhaps even a member of his own family? Heyman, ever the showman, left breadcrumbs without giving away the full feast. "I will say this much," he teased. "Roman Reigns is not merely defending a championship. He is defending his legacy, his family's honor, and the very future of this industry. WrestleMania 41 will not just be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, it will be the final word in the debate of who truly sits at the head of the table." Insiders began speculating immediately. Reports flooded in that the Bloodline had been locked in high-stakes strategy meetings for weeks. Some claim Reigns himself had demanded this grueling two-night schedule, seeing it as the ultimate declaration of dominance. Others believe that cracks in the Bloodline, particularly with Solo Sikoa's rising ambitions and the lingering resentment from Jimmy and Jey Uso, might have pushed Reigns to reinforce his authority in the most public, brutal way possible. Even beyond the Bloodline, the locker room had taken notice. Cody Rhodes, in an exclusive backstage interview, responded within minutes of Heyman's announcement. "Roman's playing a dangerous game," Rhodes said, tightening the laces of his boots. "If he wants to put himself through the fire, I'll gladly bring the flames." Seth Rollins, never one to miss a chance to stir the pot, chimed in on social media, "2 nights? 2 beatings. I like those odds, Chief." And then there was the wild card, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Speculation about The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania has been a dream match scenario for years, but Heyman's cryptic words about Family Honor ignited those flames once more. If Reigns had the power to choose his challenger for Night 2, could he finally call out his legendary cousin to settle the score and prove once and for all who truly sits at the head of the Anoa'i dynasty? Heyman, naturally, remained coy. "I will neither confirm nor deny The Rock's name crossing the tribal chief's lips," Heyman said with a glimmer of mischief. "But I will say this, whoever Roman Reigns chooses for Night 2 will be the most talked about opponent in WrestleMania history." As WrestleMania 41 looms closer, the stakes have never been higher. Roman Reigns now faces the daunting task of defending his title twice in 48 hours. For most champions, it would be career suicide. For Reigns, it's another day of tribal warfare, another chapter in his unprecedented reign of terror and triumph. Fans worldwide are bracing themselves for a historic event. Predictions are flying, tickets are selling at a record pace, and anticipation is reaching a fever pitch. Paul Heyman, the ever-calculated mastermind, left fans with one final chilling proclamation. "History will not remember WrestleMania 41 as merely another event," he said, voice dropping to a hushed, reverent tone. "It will remember it as the moment Roman Reigns cemented his place not just as the greatest champion of this generation, but as the undisputed, unquestioned, unparalleled tribal god of WWE." And with that, Heyman adjusted his tie, rose from his seat, and exited the interview, leaving the WWE universe buzzing with anticipation, anxiety, and adrenaline. Whatever happens at WrestleMania 41, one thing is now certain: Roman Reigns is prepared to go to war on the grandest stage of them all. And with Paul Heyman orchestrating from the shadows, the world will be watching, breathless and spellbound. WWE sends a message to Paul Heyman after he rejects Roman Reigns for WrestleMania 41. Fans still haven't stopped talking about Paul Heyman doing the unthinkable by choosing to be on CM Punk's side for WrestleMania 41. WWE has now issued a message for the wise man after he left Roman Reigns stunned with his decision. Heyman and the Tribal Chief's pairing has been a massive hit, with the latter embarking upon the greatest run of his career under the former's guidance. However, things took a complicated turn when it came to light that the favor Paul Heyman owed CM Punk was that he would have to be in his corner come WrestleMania 41, where he faces Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. As expected, Reigns was furious that the wise man would be on his opponent's side during the match. However, Heyman stood his ground and said he would have to keep his word to the Second City Saint. WWE recently uploaded the clip of the segment from last week's SmackDown and sent a message to Heyman. Eric Bischoff thinks Paul Heyman could side with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41. On a recent episode of his 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff spoke about the unpredictability surrounding the three-way match at WrestleMania 41. Bischoff stated that WWE could shock the wrestling universe if it chooses to go the most unexpected route of having Heyman align with Seth Rollins. "This is awesome. I don't know which way he's, Paul Heyman, gonna go because I don't know which of those have the longest tail. I always like the one that you least suspect, so Seth, based on the way you frame that, would make a lot of sense to me." Though Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins would battle it out in the ring, there's no doubt that the wise man will play a vital role in how things play out. The seismic tremor that rippled through the WWE universe following Paul Heyman's shocking decision to distance himself from Roman Reigns ahead of WrestleMania 41 was unlike anything the company had seen in years. It wasn't just a simple managerial shakeup, it was the unraveling of an empire. For over 4 years, Paul Heyman had been the brilliant mind behind the Tribal Chief's unprecedented reign of terror and triumph. He was more than an advocate, he was the wise man, the architect, the silent manipulator pulling the strings behind the scenes. But as WrestleMania 41 loomed on the horizon, Heyman's calculated mind led him to an unthinkable conclusion: he would not stand beside Roman Reigns on the grandest stage of them all. The announcement came during a tense SmackDown episode, in a segment that blurred the lines between scripted drama and unscripted emotion. "I've guided Roman Reigns to historic heights," Heyman declared, eyes heavy with both burden and defiance. "But at WrestleMania 41, I will not be at his side. This is a decision of clarity, not conflict. My allegiance is not owed to a dynasty that has forgotten its wisdom." The crowd gasped. Roman, who stood a few feet away, glared at Heyman as though betrayed by his own shadow. His usually unshakable demeanor cracked just enough for the audience to catch a glimpse of genuine fury. In the hours that followed, WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, became a hive of urgent activity. Triple H, now firmly at the helm of creative, huddled with executives and top talent relations officials. This wasn't just about storyline repercussions, this was a cultural earthquake within the company's mythology. By morning, WWE made its move. A slick, high-production video package dropped across all platforms. The opening shot, an empty seat at the head of a long, polished table, ominously reserved for the wise man. The narrator's voice, deep and thunderous, began. "When loyalty falters, the empire endures." Clips of Roman's most dominant moments played in rapid succession, spearing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, conquering Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, forcing legends and newcomers alike to acknowledge him. But every clip had something in common: Paul Heyman's presence, at Roman's side, whispering counsel into his ear. Then, the music shifted. The screen crackled as if the footage were corrupted. The seat at the table dissolved into smoke. "To reject the tribal chief is to reject greatness itself," the narrator warned. "There is no place for the faithless in the bloodline." WWE was sending a clear, thunderous message: Paul Heyman may have walked away, but Roman Reigns, and the empire he built, would not fall because of it. But that wasn't all. Within hours of the video dropping, WWE's official channels made another move, one that left fans buzzing with speculation. They posted a cryptic graphic titled "The Future of the Bloodline," teasing a live in-ring segment the following week where Roman Reigns himself would address betrayal and destiny. Social media exploded. Fans wondered if this meant Roman would crown a new wise man. Some speculated about potential replacements. Would it be Paul Heyman's old rival, Eric Bischoff? Could WWE legend JBL step into the role? Or, in a tantalizing twist, could Roman turn inward and elevate someone from within the bloodline, like Solo Sikoa, to become not just an enforcer, but an advisor? Behind the scenes, insiders reported that WWE was carefully scripting Roman's response to Heyman's departure to amplify the drama. "They want this to feel real," one source shared. "Roman isn't just losing his mouthpiece. He's losing his strategist. His shield. And they're going to make sure every second of that fallout is unforgettable." Meanwhile, Paul Heyman remained largely silent on social media, save for one cryptic post, a simple image of a chessboard, with the king toppled and the queen still standing tall. Fans dissected the meaning endlessly. Was Heyman positioning himself as the queen in this scenario, the most versatile, dangerous piece on the board, free to maneuver anywhere? And if so, where would he go next? WWE capitalized on the frenzy. Throughout Raw and SmackDown, subtle references to Heyman's departure were peppered into commentary and backstage promos. Superstars speculated about the ripple effect on their own opportunities. Seth Rollins, during a fiery promo, remarked, "Looks like Roman's not the only one losing sleep over WrestleMania season. Wise men come and go, but some of us fight our battles ourselves." Cody Rhodes, already on a warpath after narrowly missing his moment at WrestleMania 40, dropped another tantalizing line in an interview. "With or without Heyman, I'm coming for Roman. Maybe the empire's already crumbling from within." The build-up to WrestleMania 41 transformed into something bigger than a championship clash. It became a saga of loyalty, betrayal, and legacy. And then came the final twist. On the Friday before WrestleMania, during the much-anticipated Bloodline segment, Roman Reigns stood alone in the ring. The undisputed championship rested on his shoulder, but the weight of Heyman's absence was unmistakable. He stared into the camera with cold intensity. "I built an empire," Roman began, voice low but steady. "I turned doubters into believers. I turned family into soldiers. And I turned Paul Heyman into a kingmaker. But kings don't beg." A hush fell over the crowd. "I don't need a wise man to tell me who I am. WrestleMania 41 will be my reminder to the world, I am the Empire. And when the dust settles, even Paul Heyman will have no choice but to acknowledge me." With that, Roman dropped the mic, and pyro erupted behind him, closing the segment with a thunderous declaration of defiance. Backstage, WWE executives watched with satisfaction. Their message to Paul Heyman had been delivered loud and clear: the machine moves forward, with or without him. But for the fans, the most tantalizing question remained: had Paul Heyman truly turned his back on Roman Reigns, or was this just the next masterstroke in a game only he understood? WrestleMania 41 promised to answer that question, and the WWE Universe couldn't wait.